Getting ready to turn up the heat. It's the second round at the Diamond in the Desert, the Phoenix Raceway. Jordan Bain and Hunter Peach starting on the front row. Love from everybody in-house. MK Gaming XRN Network, a couple of subscribers. We'll get through you all in a minute, but the green flag is out and round 2 is on from Phoenix Raceway. So far, so good. One lap complete at the Phoenix Raceway. Jordan Bain leading Hunter Peach. Cole Snyder sits in third. Matt Boone in fourth, last week's winner. And then Josh Arnold holding the fifth position ahead of Bobby Pierce. Back into 10th, you've got Zach Meredith ahead of Jose Ruiz in the number 23 Skull Bandit machine. Then to the inside, Mike Kinsley in that number 12 Mike's Paint Design Ford. Loving the NASCAR Thunder 2003 vibes I'm getting from that car, and there's a wreck immediately. The 19's involved. Jose Ruiz barely escapes with that one. That was Jake Millsap that got a piece. Randy Bousquet gets around him, and caution number 1 is out at Phoenix. Jake Millsap in the number 19 RC, I was going to say Camry, Supra, gets into an accident. Let's go back and see what brings out caution number 1. This is going to happen in turn number 4. So here you see Millsap. He's on the outside of Shad Swatsworth in that number 1 Monster Energy ride. Millsap's going to get to the inside of the Monster Camaro, and up ahead the 55 as well. Byron Jones and Millsap just, did he go around on his own? It looks like he did. There he gets collected by Kinsley. Kinsley's going to go for a ride, and he did just go around on his own. Have a listen from the cockpit now of Jake Millsap. That deafening silence as the car comes to a halt, and it's the hope that kills you. And he got T-boned, but Jake Millsap now sitting 23rd out of 24 cars. Jordan Bain, your race leader ahead of Hunter Peach in that number 2 26 Camry. Let's see if we can get a word with Jordan Bain and see how his race is going so far. Jordan Bain, Rick James, you got me?
What's up?
Leading this race early on, Jordan, it's going to be a tough challenge from Hunter Peach coming up behind you. I know it's only round 2, but you've got to have championship hopes already on your mind.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm just trying to have fun for the most part in this league. I didn't think I'd get the pole, so that was nice, but I don't know. We'll just see. Track position's important here. Just focus on this race and trying to get in a good rhythm early and not abuse the stuff. So we'll see if any of these guys want to push it. But it looked like Hunter was content to just kind of do what I was doing there, which will be good. Good for us, I think. Should be a good pace.
Who's going to be your toughest challenge in terms of trying to get the win?
I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, Boone's always good. You know, he's been towards the end of last year. He just kept getting better and better. So I would anticipate him being a tough guy to beat every week. But yeah, I don't know Hunter that well, but he's up here. Seems patient. Cole's always good if it's a short run. I think he's always fast. Same with Arnold. I don't know. I really don't know. Sorry,
No,
I could just go down the list.
You're good. You're
yeah.
just being honest, man. We're coming to one to go this time by, and you can probably answer this one a little bit better. Jordan Bain,
Sure.
What's your favorite kind of burger?
Oh, dude, a bacon Western cheeseburger. Man, almost from anywhere. I mean, if I had to go fast food, the Carl's Jr. or Hardee's Western cheeseburger. Oh, dude, all day.
With barbecue
Smash me
sauce?
some of those. Oh yeah, man.
Oh. The only way to go, you know.
Yeah, but I'm hungry to get a good restart here and you know, see if I can't check out a little bit.
1 to green here, buddy. Keep the shiny side
Yeah.
up. Best of luck.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you.
Jordan Bain getting back to work. He's going to be at the point with Hunter Peach to his outside in the number 20 Ream Supra. The number 24 of Cole Snyder sitting in third in the Box Cave Camaro. Last week's winner, Matt Boone, in a thrilling finish at Daytona, getting the W. J-Paw, Josh Arnold, starting 5th on the inside of row 3 next to Bobby Pierce in the 88. Shad Swatsworth and Byron Jones sharing row number 4. Zach Meredith and Jose Ruiz rounding out the top 10. Last week's winner, Matt Boone, on the outside of row 2. He's looking for one of the best starts he can get coming into this race. The Wisconsin native trying to go 2 wins in a row. But it's Jordan Bain at the front waiting for the signal. 7 laps about to be completed of the scheduled 100 at Phoenix. Green flag is going to come out and we are racing again. Taking great advantage of the use of that dog leg down the back straight. Bain, Peach, Snyder to the inside of Peach. 2x2 out of turn number 3. The Hornet's Nest starting to form behind them. There you see the 55 of Byron Jones trying to get to the inside of Shad Swatsworth for the 7th position. Jones in that 55 really hanging out the nose. Zach Meredith behind him in the number 17 Hellman's Ride, trying to hold off Jose Ruiz as well as gain the advantage and stay in that top 10. Duct Tape Fan says, looking for a great night tonight, y'all. Let's go, number 19 Millsap. And I guess I have to be the one to tell him. Millsap just crashed. Jake Millsap just had an incident and brought out the first caution of the day. He was collected, T-boned really, by the 12 of Mike Kinsley. There is the 12 right there, but Millsap has it all to play for. Now Jordan Bain at the front, Hunter Peach behind him. Josh Arnold moving into the 3rd position. It's Ford, Toyota, Ford, and Chevrolets all the way down to Brad Rivers in the 69 car. He came in the chat saying, show me some love, I'll be in the 69. Well, how about a shout out to my man, B. Rivers, in that number 69 Ford. He sits ahead of Nathan Lehman and Enrique Quiñones battling for the spot. Look at the way they just slammed down onto that dog leg. Number 14, Nate Lehman. He's to the inside of Quiñones on the outside. Here comes Rodney Ayers and Josh Franks behind him in the number 6. at the front. The gap is still a quarter of a second between first and second place. Bobby Pierce now on the outside of Cole Snyder in car 24. Pierce looking to get that spot. Shad Swatsworth almost losing control of his number 1 Camaro on the inside of that dogleg. Swatsworth now pulling away from the 17 of Zach Meredith, who's sinking like a mayonnaise-covered stone out of 4. Jose Ruiz on the outside of Brad Rivers. Rivers now looking to get into that top 10 and stay there. 13 laps into this race, Brad Rivers has gained 10 spots so far. Let's ride around with Brad as he makes his way through Phoenix. NNR Lee in the chat says, let's go, Expert Racing. He's cheering for his buddy Josh Franks in that number 6 car. Franks now looking to go to the inside of Rod Ayers. Ayers in that number 21 camouflage ride. Well, lost him there for a moment, couldn't see him. Ayers sitting in 14th. He's behind Enrique Quinones by some distance, and it looks like Ayers is the plug holding Josh Franks, Jake Millsap, Brian Tiffany from exploding into that top 15. Quinones ahead by 0.6 of a second and extending that advantage. Looking up to Cole Snyder, he's now on the outside of Zach Meredith. Meredith in that number 17 Hellman's car has not been gaining as many spots as we'd like. Shad Swatsworth starting to pull away. Now the inside of Byron Jones. Here's the fight for 6th. Lee says, talking about Josh Franks, aka Expert Racing, says, he's my teammate. I missed the race tonight. An absolute shame that you did, because it's a thrill out here so far. Looking at Byron Jones just barely hanging on to Shad Swatsworth behind him. "20 laps about to be underway at Phoenix. Looking at 7th place, Shad Swatsworth. There you can see the 17 of Zach Meredith trying to mount an attack on the outside of Swatsworth. The Hellman's car looking to get to the outside of the Monster Camaro, and you almost thought they were going to collide, but they save it. And while we have a moment, gotta give a shout out to J-Paw, cheering plenty of bits for the 24, the 9, the 19, and the 22, all his cars. J-Paw really showing some love for his team. Same with MK Gaming. Honky 1217 saying, hey Rick, glad to have a little bit of support in that chat. And there is XRN Network saying the 6, 66, and 88, all of those cars ready to go. And to quote my good friend Repeat 1975, check out the Hornet's Nest. We've got back here 21 laps underway. You've got Nate Lehman, Jose Ruiz, Enrique Quinones, and Josh Franks all bundled up together. Bobby Pierce in the 88 behind Cole Snyder. Snyder behind Zach Meredith, who's managed to lose some advantage to Shad Swatsworth, but Brad Rivers in car 69 trying to hold that inside line to himself. And up ahead, Byron Jones leading the best of the rest. He sits in 5th, almost 2 seconds behind 4th place, Matt Boone. At the front, we've got a fight for the lead. Here comes Josh Arnold to the inside of Jordan Bain. This is the fight for the top spot and the first lead change today. Arnold to the inside of Bain in car 28, gives him the slide job. Will Bain give him the crossover out of 4? The box cave 22 gets a good run. Bain sliding out the back end, but now Josh Arnold has sole possession of the first spot. He is your new leader at Phoenix. NASCAR fan 1217 says, multi-voice Rick. He's talking about this doubleheader. If you've just recently tuned in, where you're listening to Rick James bringing you uninterrupted green flag action of this second round of the Mike's Paint and Design Xfinity Series. We're almost up a quarter of the way through this race. 22, 28, 20, your top 3, Ford, Toyota. Josh Arnold looking to get his first win of that season. White Walker 86 says, love you, Rick. Love you too, buddy. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Thank you to Mike's Paint Design for putting on a great show, great season thus far, and a great race, you've got to say. Only one caution coming at the hands of the 12, Mike Kinsley, finding himself one lap down. And then the 19 of Jake Millsap having an incident. Millsap finds himself in the top 15, all over the back end of Josh Franks. Enrique Quinones, Jose Ruiz now sitting nose to tail, but Quinones choosing to take the high side out of the dog leg. Meanwhile, Jose Ruiz in the 23 moves into 11th, and he is hunting down Cole Snyder at an incredible pace. The Sacramento native looking to take that Skull Bandit car up into the top 10. Here are the last 5 laps, and there you can see Cole Snyder quicker than Jose Ruiz consistently over the last 5 circuits around this racetrack, but the time will tell this time by. Now Ruiz has clean air. That time around, Snyder slower by 0.2 of a second, and the gap 0.9 between Jose Ruiz and Cole Snyder. Here's the live battle box to show you just the positions that they're in. Snyder 0.5 a second slower than the counterpart ahead. Jose Ruiz now trying to claw back that 0.8 gap between them. And only getting closer. Meanwhile, at the front, there you can see Josh Arnold. He's ahead of Jordan Bain, not by much. .3 of a second, the gap between the top 2. Hunter Peach, 0.9 of a second behind Jordan Bain, and then 1.5 seconds back to round 1 winner, Matt Boone. KS Gaming putting a heart in the chat. Love you too, Kurt. Thanks to have you here. NNR Lee says Pearson Coey also a part of Expert. And then you've got Duct Tape Fan 06 cheering on Josh Arnold leading this race. And Car 22, Jordan Bain also cheering for number 19, Jake Millsap. And NNR Lee, he has his allegiance set on the Expert Racing team. Cindy Thompson 1 says, go Josh! Cheering for Josh Arnold in that 22 as they approach Mike Kinsley, who finds himself 1 lap down. Only a caution can save car number 12 now, and there is Kinsley now going 2 laps down to the race leaders. Byron Jones only ahead of Zach Meredith by 0.2 of a second. Let's ride along with the Hellman's car and see how he gets just a bit closer to his Exalta counterpart. Just heard him put the bumper. Look at just the violence and shake when he gets on the dog leg. And once more. Meredith sitting comfortably in the 6th position, but just looking to get a bit closer up to Byron Jones. 3/10 the gap between them, going to another battle out on the racetrack. Brian Tiffany in the 14th position, only 0.4 of a second ahead of Enrique Quiñones. Quiñones in that 9 car has been trying to get up closer to Tiffany over the last 5 laps. This is what the times show. It just hasn't been consistent. One thing that I've noticed out of the driver of this 9 car is that he does not take that dog leg, possibly preserving tires, and if that's the case, just genius. The New Jersey native sitting in the top 15, Shad Swatsworth rounding out the top 10 with Josh Franks behind him, and here goes Franks looking to get to the inside of Swatsworth. This the battle for the 10th position. Franks loses control, gets to the back end of Swatsworth. No one's going around. What a save from Shad. But look at that. You saw he sent it in just a bit too deep. Shook him up. 6 car now coming up high. Jose Ruiz in the 12th position. Now a part of this 3-way fight. Josh Franks has his bearings once again. Right along, headed into 1. You can see by his hands, and you heard the wheels squealing, that tail starting to kick out. Alpha York now hosting the stream. My man, Mike York, glad to have you here, buddy. Thank you, Alpha, for hosting. What a race we've had so far. 37 laps out of 100 complete, and caution free for the most part, but have a look at this. Once again, new leader, Jordan Bain, overtaking Josh Arnold. Let's have a look and see how we got around for first. Well, he's already up the inside, isn't it? But possibly a slide job. And it looks like he may have just came off the dog leg here. But Jordan Bain getting back into the front around his Ford Mustang rival. Ford, Toyota still your top 3. Hunter Peach holding the 3rd position in his Supra. Race Facts brought to you by Mike's Paint Design, our very own Michael Kinsley, with his top-notch paint schemes, wallpapers, and all sorts of premium graphics you can imagine. Check out Mike's Paint Design on Twitter at MGCMike58. That's Mike Kinsley on Twitter at MGCMike58. Mike's Paint Design for all your premier iRacing visual needs. Mike Kinsley sitting in the 22nd position. Jordan Bain sitting in the 1st position with Hunter Peach trailing in 3rd. In 5th, Zach Meredith, who's only a half second away from Nate Lehman. Credit to this 14 car, however. Lehman has made up 11 spots from where he started, and he's only 2nd in improvement to Brad Rivers. The 69 car sitting in the 8th spot is up 12 spots from where he started this race. Duck Take Van 09 cheering for 12th spot Jake Millsap, who's hunting down the 23 of Jose Ruiz. Byron Jones in the 10th spot now. Millsap getting deeper on that dog leg than the Skoal Bandit Chevrolet. Chevy, Toyota, Ford 11th, 12th, and 13th respectively. Jose Ruiz, Jake Millsap, and Brian Tiffany, that trio. Grandpa Coey, as he's called, Jim Coey, in that black and gold number 66. He's 5.5 seconds ahead of Mike Allen, and he's 3 1/3 seconds behind Quiñones in the 15th spot. So Coey just trying to ride along, just trying to get an easy grasp of this racetrack, and it looks like green flag pit stops may be starting Let's take a look. Jordan Bain still up front. This is where all the interest is. When will these drivers come down pit road? There's your strategy so far, waiting on that pit stop time. Jordan Bain so far with no pit stops. But there you can see 19th and 20th respectively, Josh Franks and Jim Coe indeed coming down for tires and for fuel. So as the conveyor belt continues to spin around Phoenix, the window is open. And how far will these drivers go on one tank of fuel on 4 Goodyear Eagle tires? There you can see the pit stops gained and lost on the relative pit strategy. Drivers preparing themselves for this stop. And of course, so many variables at play, so many penalties that can be incurred by just a slim mistake. So far, none of the top 10 pitting. The last two to come in, just coming in almost 10 laps ago. Josh Franks getting his tires, he's to the inside. Now Bobby Pierce 1 spot behind him. 13 seconds the difference between these two. But if a caution comes out, it will change everything amongst the top 10. Nate Lehman now trying to catch up to Zach Meredith. Over the last 5 laps, Meredith consistently quicker than Nate Lehman, but Lehman now getting up closer to that 17. Is Meredith losing the tires? Is he losing the grip? Now trying to get around lap traffic. Lehman has closed up that gap. It's only 4/10 between them now. Lehman now half a second. Meredith starting to pull away. Meredith in 5th, and it seems he's got his speed back. 2 seconds ahead of him, Matt Boone running by his lonesome in the 4th position. Plenty of concentration time for the driver of the number 38 Monster Chevrolet. Up in 3rd, 4.5 seconds ahead of Matt Boone is Hunter Peach, trying to catch up to the top 2. But now it seems like we've got big disparity between these top 2. Looking from the eye in the sky, there's Josh Arnold, 1.8 seconds behind race leader Jordan Bain. We're about to hit that halfway mark, and so far no pit stops yet. But there you can see drivers looking at a window of well longer than 25 to 35 laps. They do get 4 sets of tires, which may not even be necessary tonight, although 1 fast repair is all they're going to have. So they must take care of their race cars. Jordan Bain 1.6 seconds ahead of Josh Arnold. He's slowly been closing up that gap. Nate Lehman, however, back up to Zach Meredith. Lehman sitting in 6th. Zach Meredith in 5th. Just 4/10 separates these drivers. Shad Swatsworth and Jose Ruiz now nose to tail as well. Ruiz in the number 23 Skoll Bandit Chevrolet, trying to catch up to Swatsworth in that number 1 Monster Camaro. Here's Ruiz to the inside. And he clears Swatsworth, that for the 9th position. And Jose Ruiz now on it. There you can see. It looks like, and I apologize because that's covered up there. We just have the top 20 here. Looks like car number 18 down in the pits. That's Kurt Swatsworth. That's not possible. That's Brian Tiffany, I'm sorry. 17th place, Brian Tiffany, who's getting his services in the pits. Now waiting for more drivers to join him. 15.1 seconds is his pit stop. We'll see how average that could be for Tiffany. Josh Arnold getting closer, ever still. 1.25 seconds, the gap now from Josh Arnold up to Jordan Bayne. Has Arnold been saving his stuff? Looking up to the leader over the last 5 laps, there you can see that Jordan Bayne has been slower for 3 out of the last 5 circuits around Phoenix Raceway. Coming to the line, last time Bayne was quicker. This time on lap 53, Bayne quicker still by almost 0.2 seconds. So the trend now for Jordan Bayne to be quicker than Josh Arnold before these pit stops commence. Looking back to Hunter Peach in that 20 car. You can see Arnold has been falling off the pace big time. Peach now within 0.8 seconds to Josh Arnold. Could Arnold be saving his resources, or is he trying to hang on to an increasingly loose race car? But Hunter Peach has all the advantage in this situation now. Now it's a question of if Arnold will give him a hard time. 0.7 is what separates them. How close will Peach get before he has to burn tires trying to pass for second? There you saw Peach having to go high, wide, and handsome now. Now we've got takers down pit road. Nate Lehman, Byron Jones, Matt Boone, last week's winner, all getting services down pit road. Jordan Bayne still leading this race. 2 seconds is now the gap back to Josh Arnold as Bayne puts Quiñones another lap down. Fans at home, the numbers you see down below are not the positions, are not the drivers' numbers, they are the positions themselves that the drivers are in while they're down pit road, so you can follow along with where your driver is, obviously by the first 3 letters of their last name. Jordan Bayne, 2 seconds ahead. Josh Arnold, only 0.4 ahead of Hunter Peach. Peach continuing to chase him down. Matt Boone, however, getting around Zach Meredith, and he's trying to get up to Josh Franks. Franks last pitting on lap 38. Matt Boone last pitting on lap 55. Josh Arnold and Hunter Peach now down pit road. Jordan Bayne staying out, so the gauntlet has been thrown down to the leader. There you see Peach in third, down pit road now. NNR Lee says, "Let's go, boys." This could be the money stop here. Drivers could be good to go to the end. Leader is in. Here's Jordan Bayne. Cole Snyder now in car 24, pipped to take the lead unless he comes down himself. The 17 car with fresh tires. Zach Meredith in the 13th position, now getting around the leader. Here indeed does come Cole Snyder down pit road. So third place, Shad Swatsworth will now join Cole Snyder, and it's up to Jim Coe sitting in fourth now, up 17 spots from his original starting position. Coe will not come down pit road. He pitted first on lap 4, so Jim Coe has 56 laps on these tires, and he will come around Jordan Bayne to collect the lead. New leader at Phoenix, Jim Coe. On the back 9 now, if you've recently joined us, once again, I'm Rick James, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Mike's Paint and Design Xfinity Series, Round 2 from Phoenix. Jim Coe, Jordan Bayne, Josh Arnold, your top 3. 4 seconds now the distance between Grandpa Coe and Jordan Bayne behind him. There's first place Coe. There's Bayne. 3 1/3 seconds and counting just at an alarming rate. Coe losing all sorts of time at the lead, but he could be gambling on a yellow, and a caution would change everything. Grandpa Coe could be in a good spot if that yellow comes out, but how long will he hold on? Here's Jordan Bayne in the 28. He's got a 1.5 second lead on Josh Arnold. Let's ride along with Bayne as he hunts down Coe for first. And just like that, Coe comes down pit road. So your new leader is going to be Jordan Bayne, 63 laps into this race. He's led the majority of laps so far, but he's got to bring it home. Zach Meredith. He just finds himself half a second behind Nate Lehman. Meredith looking to get back into the top 5 where he once found himself. Josh Franks behind him in the 6. Here's the battle for the 5th spot. Zach Meredith looking to get around Nate Lehman. Where will Lehman choose to put his mayonnaise Camaro? I gotta say, I'm really digging this kind of vaporwave livery that Lehman has on his 14. Whether he designed that or not, that is just cool. Shout out for bringing one of the best, one of the most visually impressive cars that we'll see today. Nate Lehman doing a great job holding on to 5th, but for how long? Because Meredith is really pressing the issue. Jordan Bayne still up front. Josh Arnold sitting in 2nd and Hunter Peach in 3rd. 0.8 of a second between Hunter Peach and Josh Arnold. There you can see Jeff Lednam in 20th. Mike Kinsley in 22nd. Both coming down pit road, and that should end the regular run of green flag pit stops for the day. But now comes the question, how will Jordan Bayne maintain these tires over the last 34 laps of action? Josh Arnold sitting in 2nd, 2 seconds behind. And is that Jake Millsap in the 19? That is indeed Jake Millsap in the 19. He finds himself in the 14th spot, being overtaken by 2nd Josh Arnold. Half a second behind Arnold, however, Hunter Peach, who's made his way up into that number 20 Ream Supra. Top Esports in the chat puts in some podium logo emojis. Glad to have you here, buddy. Was talking to Mama Vols earlier. Glad to have you here as well, my friend. And he's hosting the stream here as well. Love it. Thank you, my friend. Sit back, relax. It's been a nice race so far as we approach the 69th lap of action, and we slowly have 30 laps to go. Byron Jones in 16th position, now all over the back end of Enrique Quiñones. This the battle for the top 15th position. Coming into this race, Enrique Quiñones sitting 13th in points. Byron Jones not even in the top 20, trying to just have a good point state regardless of what happens. Jones starting to lose that gap to Quiñones. Quiñones pulling away in 15th, 0.8 of a second the gap between them. But now Nate Lehman has more of Zach Meredith to worry about. Let's ride along inside the Hellman's Mayo Camaro as he challenges Lehman for 5th. Jose Ruiz and Josh Franks now up against it. 23 versus the 6. Franks dives down to that dog leg, trying to get any advantage on the Skull Bandit Camaro. But the 23 of Ruiz holds on to 8th. Franks behind him in 9th. And Cole Snyder in the 24, rounding out the top 10. And it looks like the 6 got loose. Here's Cole Snyder all over the back end of the 66 Grandpa Coe. That's not for position. Josh Franks losing his bottle there, now 0.8 of a second behind. Jose Ruiz and Cole Snyder within 0.2, now looking to overtake car number 6 for 9th. Nate Lehman still just ahead of Zach Meredith, approaching the final 25 laps of racing. Josh Arnold slowly chipping away at the 2-second gap between himself and Jordan Bain. Over the last 5 laps, you can see Bain only quicker for one of them. This time across the line, 73 laps complete. And on that last lap, Jordan Bain quicker once again as he does extend that gap to 2 seconds over one of his team, I guess you could call them teammates, Josh Arnold, in that 22. Mustang, Supra, your top 3. The first Chevrolet is last week's winner, Matt Boone, in car 38. Matt's going to have to pick up the pace if he wants a win out of this one. But certainly a top 5, not a bad way to follow up a season opening victory. Biggest mover so far has to be Brad Rivers in that number 69 Ford Mustang. Brad said at the top of the show, show me some love, I'll be in the 69 car. Well, here's some love for Brad, the biggest mover of the race, and he's chasing down Zach Meredith. But now Nate Lehman, has he lost the tires because Zach Meredith all over the back end of car 14. Quinones getting a little bit loose in that 9 car. Now to the inside of car 17. Jordan Bain in the 28. 2 1/3 seconds ahead of Josh Arnold, and you could say it's Jordan's race to lose at this point. Meredith falling off the pace. Byron Jones in the number 55 Exalta Chevrolet, half a second behind Bobby Pierce in car 88. Pierce to the outside, of car 69. Bobby Pierce now with a 1/4 of a second advantage over Byron Jones. Byron normally in the booth, but for this race getting a good piece of that action and putting in a good shift, it has to be said. I'm cheering for my buddy Byron. But obviously I want to see a good fight. That 88 car trying to hold on. Bobby Pierce to the inside, Byron Jones to the outside, and he's going to make the 24 car work for it. This a tough fight for 15th, and there goes the 88. Bobby Pierce goes for a spin, but he saves it. Glove save from car 88, and Bobby Pierce keeps her pointed in the right direction. How about that? Let's go back just briefly. Hopefully we don't miss any more important action, but I've got to see the hands of car 88, Bobby Pierce, really hanging on to this one. Have a listen and look at the hands of driver 88. Glove save. What more can you say? Bobby Pierce coming in clutch to keep his race alive and keep the top 20 hunt alive and well. Bobby Pierce only a half second ahead of Grandpa Coe, who's hunting him down for the 16th position. There goes Pierce again, and this time he won't save it. Collected by Kinsley, and the 24 of Cole Snyder in the 10th position gets collected as an innocent bystander. Caution number 2 comes out at Phoenix with 20 laps to go of the scheduled 100. And the curse of the commentator strikes. I'm sorry, Bob. Bobby Pierce held on to it the lap before. And I'll give you this. Bob Pierce last pitted on lap 38. So his tire's approaching the 40-lap mark. Let's go back and see what happened to driver 88. Just the same thing that happened last time. And here comes the 24 of Cole Snyder. Nothing Cole could do. One more time, riding along with the 24. The wrong clip, but never mind. We don't need to see him wreck again. We're going to restart inside the final 19 laps of racing, but folks, we're going to ensure that we're going to make it ad-free to the end. So here comes the big ad break. 3 minutes, everybody stretch your legs, get a drink, grab your popcorn, because we are going to finish the last 15 laps of this 100-lap thriller in a shootout. We'll be back in 3 minutes with the green flag of round 2 of Mike's Paint and Design Xfinity Series. Getting ready to turn that switch, turn them loose. 15 laps of action remain at Phoenix. Jordan Bain, Josh Arnold on the front row. Pace truck peels off, 28 car jumps, 15 to go from the Diamond in the Desert. "28, 22, 38, your top three with lucky number 13 laps to go next time by. Almost everybody came down for tires and for fuel. Only a handful didn't, and all those drivers that did still up front. So it is a fresh tire and fuel shootout to the end. Jordan Bain and Josh Arnold battling. Here comes Brad Rivers to the outside of Matt Boone, and Rivers said he was going to be big. Look at him go for third. Look at the 17. Zach Meredith now looking to get to the inside of Matt Boone. Meredith in the Hellman's Camaro to the inside of that 38 Monster Energy Chevrolet. This the fight for fourth. Still a half second between first and second place with a dozen laps remaining. Jose Ruiz rounding out the top 10. Brian Tiffany behind him by 0.6 of a second. Jake Millsap in the 19 car. He only finds himself half a second behind Grandpa Coe, but he's going to have to let the 23 of Ruiz by. Here comes Millsap on the outside of Coe. The 5 car of Mike Allen running high, wide, and handsome, and it looks like they've crashed up ahead. The 17 of Zach Meredith has gone around after running in the top 5 all day long. Zach Meredith crashed, and his fans devastated. Meredith in that 17 car. Let's go around and see what happened to the Hellman's Chevy. Oh, just loose out of turn 4. Will he be collected? Yes! Oh, it looked like Josh Franks in the 6 that just got a hold of him. And Zach Meredith going for a wild ride. Let's have another look. Possible net code there. Let's have a really close look at this one. Because there was no... Oh, that is just unfortunate. Well, and it looks like the 17's already losing traction. Oh, yes, he's already skidding out of here. You can see the nose just twist on him. Let's have a look from the back end. That right there spells net code, and unfortunately getting collected by what looked like car 66 or possibly somebody else, but the 17 of Zach Meredith getting into a big spot of trouble. And now the Hellman's Mayo Chevy going to have to come down pit road and get some all too necessary repairs. That's going to leave Jordan Bain up front, but now J-Paw, aka Josh Arnold, behind him in the second position. Let's see if Josh Arnold thinks he's got what it takes to win this race. Josh Arnold, Rick James up top. You got me? Josh Arnold, Rick James in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Frank. Great.
You're sitting in second, man. We're going to be restarting with fewer than 8 laps to go. Do you have the car to get around Jordan Bain?
All depends on that restart, man. I got to get a good restart and be kind of beside him. Last time I was beside Boone, had to fight him off. Of course, when you got 2 equal cars like me and Boehner, it's tough to run somebody down.
Inside or outside move? How are you going to get him?
I'm gonna dump him, bro.
You know, that's a viable strategy too, but you're going to give us a show, that's for sure. The most important question of the night, J-Paul, what is your favorite kind of burger?
Steak bomb in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
You know, that sounds bomb. All right, buddy, I'll take your word for it. Best of luck. Keep the shiny side up.
Thank you, sir.
This is going to be a wild ride, a wild finish. Josh Arnold to the outside of Jordan Bain fighting for that round 2 finish, but you can't count out Matt Boone. Matt Boone in that 38 monster car sitting in 4th. Won last week, and he wants a taste of victory again. Brad Rivers has moved up 17 spots from where he started this race 91 laps ago. Rivers, does he have the skills But what about Nate Lehman? He's been holding off the 17 valiantly. Has he been saving his stuff for the end? Jose Ruiz back up to 8th. Is he the long shot in the Skull Bandit car? Repeat 1975, the man, the myth, and the legend says title fight, Boehner and J-Paw, and you could be looking at a title fight here tonight. The 28 and the 22 fighting for the win and what could be the Mike's Paint and Design Championship. Drivers ready to go. Fans uncontrollable. Fans so ready for this. Green flag is out and we're racing again at Phoenix. Starting to form up behind them. 5 to go at the line. Bain, Arnold, Rivers, your top 3. Boone in 4th. Here comes Rivers to the inside of Arnold, and there's contact behind them. Nate Lehman manages to keep it on the straight and narrow. Swatsworth to the inside of Boone. Contact between the monster cars. Matt Boone in the 38 goes around. He gets clipped by another car. Crash in turn number 2. And last week's winner will not make it. 2 wins in a row. Wisconsin's Matt Boone turned around at the behest of number 1, Shad Swatsworth. And we have to have another look at this. Fans of Boone just distraught. You can just hear the sadness in the stands. You can hear the silence in the stands. All of a sudden, the four-legged fans don't want to make any noise. Let's go back and have a look at this most recent caution. Oh, already collected there. Now, let's go back. Matter of fact, let's ride along with Shad Swatsworth. It'll be interesting to hear what that engine note was like before he made contact with car 38. He was always floating up the racetrack. He was always going to float up that racetrack. And the one car will scoot away while car 38 is in a spot of trouble one more time. Let's run this one back a bit. We got ahead of ourselves. And have a look at the rose-colored one car behind car 38. You can almost say that Boone was, Swatsworth, I should say, had to go to the inside line to avoid Nate Lehman in car 14, who you saw had a bit of a shake. That may have messed up the trajectory, I'm not sure, but Swatsworth sits in 5th. Matt Boone sits in 13th. At the front, it's still Jordan Bain and Josh Arnold who are going to settle this race with a 3-mile shootout to the end. NNR Bowling, strangely, celebrating the male sex with an emoji and the symbol for male in the chat. So we're going to have 2 to go when we restart this this race here. Brad Rivers sitting in 3rd in that 69 car. And Rivers, I'm honestly almost speechless because I haven't seen a driver come from the back to the front and be this dominant. Mind you, Brad Rivers started in 20th out of 24 cars. Looking at the points standings, Brad Rivers doesn't sit anywhere in that top 10. And I believe he's nowhere near the top 20 as well, unless I'm reading this incorrectly. So Brad Rivers really going to leapfrog so many drivers in these points if he can hang on to his hot rod for 2 more laps. Who do you got? That is the question. One more lap to green. Green, white, checkered next time by. Who do you got? Fans, a reminder, at the end of tonight's race, we're going to have top 3 interviews, podium interviews, following the checkered flag. Jordan Bain and Josh Arnold going to settle it. Does Brad Rivers have a way through? We're about to find out. Get on your feet and get ready for this. 2 more laps of racing in the second round of the Mike's Paint and Design season. Let's go racing. Green flag. Here comes Arnold to the inside out of turn number 4. White flag is in the air. 1.5 more miles to settle the race at Phoenix. Repeat says 22 is a lot closer, but will he be close enough? Brad Rivers in the 69 trying to get to the back end of the Box K Furniture Mustang. Jordan Bain leading into the 28. Down through the dogleg one more time. Bain holding on. Arnold gets one more chance to send it. Michael Kinsley goes around in the 12, and they're starting to wreck behind him. Big contact from Swatsworth onto the 19. Bain comes out of turn number 4, and Jordan Bain will hang on in round number 2 to win at Phoenix. Demolition Derby behind them. Josh Arnold in second. Brad Rivers sits in the 3rd position, but what a way for Jordan Bain to hang on despite the knockdown, drag-out fighting that was the first 3 quarters of this race. Bain holds off a hard-charging Josh Arnold to get the W. Repeat says, congrats, Bainer. He says, great try, J-Paw. Brad Rivers gets the bronze medal tonight, but there is our race winner, one Jordan Bain, adding his name to the race winners list. Now let's go back here. We need to see what exactly happened with Shad Swatsworth in the number 1 car as Jordan Bain. I tell you what, I've never seen a Polish victory lap on iRacing before, but this is far and away, if he is doing that, a great shout out to Alan Kowicki. He could just be burning the house down either way, but well, no, look at that, an actual Polish victory lap on iRacing, and how do you like that? Big shout out to the one and only Alan Kowicki, the 1992 champion, the last, at least I think, the last owner-driver to win a title in NASCAR. But an excellent celebration here. Let's take a look at that last accident there involving Shad Swatsworth. And here's Swatsworth in turn number 3, right into the 20 car. Or it looks like the 26 of Jake Millsap. And then the 17 goes around again, and the 17 collects the 1. And look at this junkyard on the front straight. And let's roll this back and see what happened to car 17, because it looks like Zach Meredith really got the business end of a big boot from the 6 of Josh Franks. There you see Franks all up the back end, and it looks like he may have gotten into the 17. May not have been a lot of contact there, but one more time, let's go back and have a look at Shad Swatsworth. And have a listen. Certainly a steward's inquiry there, and a little bit of a double burnout by Jordan Bain and Josh Arnold. Folks, we're going to get settled, and we're going to have top 3 interviews in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. On the podium now, Cindy Thompson says, good try, Josh. Great run. XRN Network says, accidentally got into the 17. That's Josh Franks. So there you see Josh Franks offering his apologies. We're now with third place, Brad Rivers, driver of that number 69. Brad, in the chat earlier today, you said, show me some love, and we did, and it paid off dividends. You started 20th and finished third. What a way to start your Mike's Paint and Design campaign.
Yeah, for sure, man. Car was great. A couple cautions at the end there really helped me out. So, yeah, I just gotta, I don't know, just that payoff to the practice I put in early on before the race. So, yeah, I'm excited for my top 3.
You should be pumped, man. First bronze medal of the season. Now can you make it 2 podiums in a row next week?
I hope so. I hope so. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I have a good clean race like I had tonight, and we'll see what happens.
We'll see you in a week's time in Vegas. Congratulations on third.
Thanks, man.
Getting our silver medal tonight in the number 22 Box Cave Furniture Mustang, Josh Arnold. J-Paw, what more could you have done to take the win away from Bain?
All but run through him, which I said I was going to do in the stream when you brought me into the booth. But I'm not going to race him like that. But no, that's the only way I could have gotten by him. He was guarding that outside really good. Really on those restarts, man. I had to worry about second. I couldn't even think about Boehner. I had to, fend off, Rivers and Boone there for a couple of times, and Peach was up there, man. Peach really, I think that coming down pit road, I don't know, he lost like 5 or 6 points. He ran second, third all race long. So shout out to him. And then really, man, I mean, I guess without those cautions, you probably would have talked to Banger winning, me second. Who knows? Maybe Hunter would have finished third, but those cautions really shook it up there at the end and gave Rivers and gave Lehman a chance. They both started outside the top 15 and drove their way into the top 5. So shout out to them. Jose, always a good guy. Every time you see him finish top 5, it's always good. But bad luck on my side of the team. I guess 24 got into some incidents, and then Q Dog was back there. Enrique was running okay outside the top 10, and then shout out to Jake, man. He got his second straight league top 10. So hit the first 2 of his career back to back. So something to build on for him. And as always, got to shout out the winner, Boehner. I mean, besides driving through him, I don't think I would have really got by him and stayed in front of him. So love that long green flag in the middle there. I know you did. It was pretty good racing. Me and Boehner and Winding were right there, real close together. So
fantastic day for the whole team.
For the viewers. Absolutely.
Fantastic day.
But, shout out to you for broadcasting, and shout out to Mom for being out there.
I appreciate you all coming through. I love broadcasting this, man. This has been a great time. We'll see you in a week's time at Vegas. Congratulations, Josh.
Thanks, Rick.
Our race-winning interview brought to you by our very own Mike Kinsley at Mike's Paint and Designs, offering premier visual graphics in iRacing. Hit him up on Twitter at MGCMike85. That's Mike's Paint and Designs for the very best in iRacing visuals at MGCMike85 on Twitter. Jordan Bain in that number 28 Ford Mustang. There was nothing more you could have done but just drive the wheels off that thing. Way to get a win, buddy.
Thanks, Rick. Yeah, it was fun. Josh really caught me with my pants down there in that first run. I thought I was running a good pace, and he just came and blew my doors off, and I was like, man, I guess I'm not running a very good pace. And kind of rode behind him. Actually learned a little bit riding behind him, and just was able to have a mistake-free race, and that long green run kind of played to my benefit, and just abused those tires at the end, man. Just going for it. So
it paid off.
Yeah. So, anyways, appreciate you broadcasting. I'll keep it short and sweet. Appreciate everyone out there giving me plenty of room. Almost too much room. Some of the lap guys, they gotta try to battle me a little harder than that. They're trying to get out of the way, and I'm almost plowing into them because I'm not ready for it. So too respectful out there, but that's pretty cool. That speaks volumes of all the guys in this league and the chemistry we all have. So a lot of fun. Thanks for broadcasting. Appreciate y'all.
What another great race and what another great chapter in the Mike's Paint and Design book. 2 rounds complete, and next Tuesday night, approximately 9:30 p.m. Eastern, we are running at Las Vegas. I called Phoenix the diamond in the desert. I hope Las Vegas isn't the diamond in the desert. Either way, it's going to be amazing, and you just can't afford to miss it. So we'll see you in 7 days' time for the 3rd round of racing. All the fans coming through tonight: Duct Tape Fan, J-Paw, Repeat 1975, Bowling, MK Gaming, 1217. Q-Dogs was in here as well. Of course, all the fans showing love with bits, supports, shares. We cannot do these races without you. Literally cannot do them without you. And it is my pleasure to bring you uninterrupted green flag racing. Thursday night, the OG trucks are at it, so you can't miss that right here on Rick James TV 1. Until the next one, fans at home, please stay safe. Do take care of each other, and we will see you all